Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I'm actually really happy to be making this video, which, yeah, I'm happy when I make the majority of the videos I make, but this one really kind of inspired me. You know, in the past month, I would say with the lack of official news or updates from the devs, as well as just the general state of the game right now, there's been a lot of cynicism and pessimism within the community, which, you know, it is what it is. I can't blame anyone for feeling that way, but it's never fun to see people down on something you yourself, and them too, you know, are so passionate about. Also, it's just a bummer that we're at such a flat line right now, given how close we are to such an awesome update with Season 11, which is bringing great stuff for both the PvE and PvP crowds, those of course being the new PvE game mode Descent, as well as the sweeping changes and fixes for the DZ and Conflict. And being a PvPer myself, that's actually what I wanted to focus on today. Maybe you could tell from the background gameplay that's been playing. You know, for a long while now, there's been a sentiment of, oh, Division 2's PvP is beyond salvaging. It's completely hopeless. They should never touch it again. And some go so far as to say is they should remove it from the game entirely. And in more recent times, especially since Heartland was announced, you know, I've seen a lot of people saying that since Red Storm is involved with that game, they hope there's going to be a really big PvP focus. We now know that it's at least somewhat involved in the game from the reveal trailer back at Ubisoft Forward, but there's a sizable crowd who hopes that Heartland draws all of the PvP players in interest away from the Division 2 so that it can finally be forgotten. Now look, personally, and I've said this many times before, I think the Division 2's PvP is inferior to the Division 1's. Clearly, it has a lot of fundamental issues, but I firmly remain with the belief that it is still Division PvP, and I still thoroughly enjoy playing it despite its issues. And as much as I hope whatever PvP Heartland offers is awesome, of course I want that, it doesn't mean that I would want Division 2's PvP to die out because of that. They're two different games, inevitably going to be providing two wildly different experiences. So that's a roundabout way of saying I've been an advocate for Division 2 PvP for a long time, but with the recent lull of news and information, with the wait for Season 11, with the recent glitches and issues with Foundry and invincibility and whatnot, it's been harder and harder to kind of avoid the major problems with the experience. Well, my friends, that was until I sat down the other day to record some gameplay for future video usage, and that's what you're watching in the background right here, and I struck gold. I had a unicorn of an experience within the Division 2's Dark Zone, and it struck me so much that I felt compelled to make an entire video about this. What am I talking about? Well, as I mentioned, the DZ currently has a lot of bugs and issues with it, on top of the long-standing balancing issues and all of that stuff, and it's virtually impossible to go through a full session in there without running into some, you know, sort of frustration, whether it's fighting an unbalanced build, running into someone who's cheating or glitching, whatever it may be. And on top of that, I've said for a long time that I think a lot of the soul has been lost with the Division 2's Dark Zone. Ever since they knocked it down from Heroic to challenging difficulty shortly after Warlords released, it simply has none of what used to make it that prime endgame farming spot that it used to be in the Division 1. Well, my friends, in this run and in this particular server that I came across the other day, the stars literally just aligned. I had such a great experience within the Division 2's Dark Zone that it made me feel like I was back in Division 1's DZ. It made me feel that spark of excitement and danger that the DZ is supposed to invoke. Clearly got me excited enough to make a video about it, and above all, it made me remember why the DZ is worth saving, why it's worth Massive's trouble to sort out the bugs and the glitches it has, worth going through the pains of balancing everything out, worth going back and making it a worthy endgame activity once more, because the DZ is a truly special idea. I really believe that, and a phenomenal concept of game design. And this run I had in there reminded me of that, and I haven't felt that in an immensely long time, and maybe more than ever, I am ecstatic to see what the devs have planned to try and move things forward for the Division 2's Dark Zone and PvP in Season 11. So primarily, I want to let this footage kind of speak for itself, but let me just briefly run through you all what, you know, kind of made this server so awesome for me. Firstly, I had an actual purpose to go in there. Ever since they kept the new rule set of targeted loot dropping as regular loot, automatically, you know, that increased the DZ's efficiency in farming, so that was a bonus. But also, with TU16, they added in the ability to receive exotic components from DZ chests at a 15% higher value than control point chests. It's finally given the DZ a reason to go and farm it again because of how valuable those are with the expertise system. So you're getting the highest reward for taking on more risk. So from the jump, it felt good to be going into the DZ with an actual purpose rather than just saying, let me go see who I can fight. Now, as you saw, I did, of course, flag up on somebody because, yeah, I'm just that guy. You ain't getting away that easy when I'm around. But my goal wasn't just to shut down whoever I could. I was just fighting whoever was in front of me, player or NPC. So I moved through these landmarks going for exotic components, but let me tell you what was also so special. Obviously, I'm solo, as you can see, which if you haven't played Division 2's DZ, you know, can be a huge no-no. for a lot of cases when you run into different experiences in the Dark Zone, especially if you intend to PvP. But not only was I able to PvE and PvP successfully solo, but I didn't encounter one person using the invisibility glitch. I didn't encounter one person who was using a knowingly unbalanced build to try and shut people down. Now, caveat there, you will see somebody later on who does put on Foundry after I kill them once to try and get an edge over me, but I was still able to kill them. So even though that did happen, I'm going to ignore it anyway because it's being fixed pretty soon. But I was able to go on and get a manhunt. I cleared 2 or 3 landmarks, had some awesome fights and cool spots. I mean, like I said, I haven't had a DZ session that felt this much like what a real DZ session should feel like in such a long time. The reward was there, the risk was there, and the whole experience just felt fulfilling. It was balanced. I had to stay on my toes. It just oozed Dark Zone vibes. It felt like what the Dark Zone is supposed to frickin' feel like, as opposed to the, meta build free-for-all that it often is these days. Which, hey, I partake in that plenty myself, but it's not what the original vision for the DZ was. This session is exactly what the original vision for the DZ was, and yeah, it just inspired me so much that I felt compelled to make this video. It really rekindled my hope and excitement for what improvements we could see Massive make to the experience in Season 11, and it would be an absolute dream if we could eventually reach a point where experiences like this were basically the norm, where the DZ offers great rewards, dare I say the best in the game. It is risky and challenging and fast-paced, but it's also balanced and plays out in sensible ways. I feel like this session I had gave me a glimpse into what a possible future of hope for the DZ in this game could really be, and I really, really hope that that comes to fruition someday, because the DZ will always have my heart. It's my absolute favorite thing about the Division franchise. But with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here and let the rest of the gameplay run. Let me know any and all of your thoughts on the DZ conversation. Let me know what you think about this run I had here, and if this looks like the ideal Dark Zone to you, and let me know what you're kind of hoping to see for the PvP changes in Season 11. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.
Contaminated gear detected. Detecting additional hostile contacts. System reactivated. System curtailed. System back online. Hit the target. Arrived.
I got you covered, man. Get this one. Come on,
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Rogue hive detected. Hostile hive detected. Hero is returning to base.
No, todavía no.
System malfunctioning. System reactivated.
Mis habilidades lo pude matar, ¿no? No tiene por qué.
Serious trauma detected.
3, 4, 2 Walker, en su mamá.